Alright folks, Nate here with Nate's Electronics and Modifications. This video is a review of the Marshall Vintage Modern 2466 100 watt valve amplifier. I'll tell you what, this is a badass amplifier. It is loud. I can see why Slash used to use one of these. I want to say it's configured with 4KT66 tubes. So I'm just going to go ahead and run across the board here, and then I'm going to demonstrate some sounds you can get out of this amplifier. You can do everything on this amp. And what's great about this amp is it's more of an old school type of way of using it. It's more, you use your guitar, plug straight into the amplifier. There's not a lot of effects involved. If you want to get a clean sound, you back off the volume on your guitar. If you want to get more of a punch to it, more dirty sound, crank the volume up. It's basically all, the good tone for the good late 60s, 70s, 80s. You can do everything on this amp. So if you go across the board, it got reverb, you got a master volume, presence, bass, middle, treble, and then you have a dynamic range here, which goes to a low dynamic and a high dynamic, basically by hitting a button. Right now I'm going to start off with the low dynamic, and you got a detail and a body. Now most amplifiers usually have a master volume and a gain, or if you have like the old vintage Marshall amps, you don't even have a gain, just have your volume and presence, and the louder you get, it starts to break up and give you that good overdrive sound. But right now I have everything set at 12 o'clock with exception of the reverb and the volume. My kids are asleep right now, so I come down here late and do these videos. I don't want to wake them up, so I keep the volume at a low setting. But, it's a great amp, and I'd love to crank it up louder, put an attenuator on here, but I don't have an attenuator. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in and play some tones on this and go through it with you. I'm going to be plugged into a Fender 1993 American Strat. It is rigged with some 62 reissue single coil pickups, vintage single coils. So I'm going to go ahead and hook up here and start playing some sounds here for you. Alright, here we go. Alright, let's get this thing cranked up. There we go. Okay, again, I'm playing through a Fender Stratocaster American 1993 with some 1962 vintage single coil pickups. And again, I have all the settings at 12 with exception of the volume, and I have the reverb down. And this setting's perfect for your good clean sounds. If you want to get your Skinner going, crank it up a little bit, actually. Because when you go to the high dynamic range, it kind of boosts the volume and it gets really loud. But on the low dynamic range, if you crank it up a bit, you get a good JTM 45 tone on this. But right now I have it backed off a little bit to give you a good clean sound. So let's go ahead and demonstrate that. It got a good crisp tone. If you want to hit that Clapton setting, you can get that. Or you can get Chili Peppers. Or if you get back, back in the 60s again, some Animals. And you just, it's just a great amp. So that's the low dynamic range with everything on 12. Let me back off on the volume a second here and go over to the high dynamic range. Push that button right in. And I have the mid boost out right now. There's a mid boost button right next to the dynamic range, and I have it out right now in these settings. And what that does is when you have it pushed in, it basically gives you more of a mid boost. It thickens up the sound. But right now I have the mid boost out, so it's not on, and I'm on the high dynamic range right now. So let's give this a go. bridge pickup setting right now. Tones are all the way up. And let's give it a shot. And it's real bright, the Strat. It sounds great too with humbuckers. If you have a Gibson Les Paul or just anything with a good humbucker, it gives you a good thick punch through it, and it reacts perfect with whatever guitar you're using. And it sounds great too when you use that neck pickup. It gives you those good interest tones. It's just great for those good cranked up Marshall tones from the late 60s, you know. You know, it's a great amp. So now, if you want to get a little bit more heavier, get more of those harder rock tones. You want to get like the Led Zeppelin style cranked up tones. I mean, it just all goes by ear what you like. You want to engage the mid boost, and I love engaging this one here. Again, everything's set at 12. Have the mid boost engaged, and this is going to fatten up that tone a little bit, so you get more of those. And what's also great about this amp is when you back off on the volume, it cleans up a little bit. Like back in the day, you know, if you want to get a good clean tone, you got to roll back on the volume. Like that, or like get that. And then that's with the mid in. One of my favorite tones to get out of this amp is have the mid in and taking the body and just crank the body setting all the way up. This fattens up the amplifier. It sounds great with single coils. If you have humbuckers, it might sound a little muddy with them. It just depends on what kind you have. And it's just a preference how you want to have it. But I like to have it cranked up all the way. And this gives you just, I have to say, it just gives more balls to it. Sounds great. Again, that's on the bridge pickup. Now, if you have it on the neck pickup on that thing, it gives it more of, it takes away a lot of the brightness on it, but it still gives you some good smooth cream tones to it. You know, it just sounds great. You get those good Robin Trower tones out of it. I love this amp. You can get just about any tone out of these amps. And what's great about it is you could do so much with just plugging straight into the amplifier. You don't have to use a lot of effects. Me personally, I don't like to use a lot of effects. The only effects I use in front of this is an Ibanez Tube Screamer to boost the tone, or to boost the signal for solos, and a wah pedal. That's all I basically need in front of this, and I'm good to go. The reverb's pretty good on it. Let me go ahead and put it back on a good clean setting on the low dynamic range. Put everything back to 12. And I have the reverb now at 12 o'clock. Now, it's not like your Fender reverb, your spring reverb sounds, but it still works okay, I think. Crank it up a little bit. And now crank that reverb all the way up. But it's a great amp, very versatile. It's just perfect for all those who want to be, old school vintage. If you can't afford a Super Lead 100 or a JTM 45, you can get these off eBay for probably around 600, lucky for around 500, 700 bucks. I love this thing. I won't let it go. I have it plugged into a 1960 slanted lead cab. If you have any questions or comments, post down below my profile. For all you guitar fanatics on our watching this, I do a lot of electronics tutorial videos, and one of them, which is pretty cool, is scroll down on my profile and look for the common emitter amplifier circuit. And if you don't want to get into the nerd stuff, just skip to the end on there. But I basically show you a simple distortion pedal to use that you can design to plug into these. And if you watch the beginning of the video, it kind of shows you the theory behind it of designing distortion pedals and where it all starts out with a little bit. And that's a pretty cool project if you want to start building pedals. And I'm probably going to go ahead and do some videos on effects pedals for these, making them. But again, this is just a video, the Vintage Modern. Check out my video, my profile for some other videos I post on there. Thank you.